Alright, Nissan 400Z, or Z Proto, whatever they want to call it. So, I know I'm late to the party. Everyone's already talked about it. It's been making tours. You can see it. It's on the website. But I'm about to talk about it anyway. So I'm going to talk about the looks. I'm going to talk about the performance. I'm going to talk about the interior, which I guess is also the looks. And I'm going to talk about like pricing and like how if it actually kind of makes sense. So, first things first, for looks, I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to put some pictures up. The back end, the side, it all looks good. It has a sick profile. I'm actually really excited about it. I really want one, to be honest, when it comes out, or if it comes out. I really hope it does come out. Only thing I have to criticize is the grill. The front grill, I really don't like it. It's just a big square. And I know they're trying to take it from like older Nissans, but like those ones kind of had a bar that went across it, which made it it divided it up a lot more. But just being that big square, I'm not a fan of. I know it probably needs the cooling. Maybe it doesn't even need that much, but like if they could do anything with that, or if someone else will just make like an aftermarket thing later, I'd probably switch that out. I'm not a fan of the grill. I'm also not really a fan of that yellow, but that doesn't matter because there's going to be a variety of colors. Next, talking about performance. So, we all heard it's going to be a twin-turbo engine. We're all assuming it's going to be the one out of the Infiniti Red Sport 400, right? That'd be great. But I do feel like they may try to make two different versions, because just like right now we have 370Z and we have a 370Z Nismo. So I do feel there's a good chance they're going to take that 400Z or 400 or like Z Proto and make like a base one and then a Nismo one, and maybe the Nismo one will have the 400 horsepower if we're hoping, or maybe the base one will have it and then maybe they make an even more wild one for the Nismo. I don't really think they'll go above the 400. If they do, that'd be great, but I don't think they will. So maybe they'll have like the regular one that's like 350 and then a Nismo that's 400. That's still plenty of power and it'd be great. Like that's a great option, and I think most people will be content with that. And with it being turbo, you know, like it's gonna be a lot easier to squeeze power out of it compared to the older versions that were NA. Although NA is great and you get sick response, it going to turbo is going to be like a game changer. It's going to be a lot easier to make power, and I'm pretty sure it's going to make it a lot more of like a happy tuner car that people are a lot more excited to buy compared to the old ones. Moving on to the brakes, if you saw any of the pictures or any of that like version that's going around the different shops, you might have seen it on YouTube, they have 6-piston brakes up front. Now 6-piston brakes would be ridiculous, it'd be crazy, it'd be sick. Like I'd love to see the car come with 6-piston brakes, but finding it very unlikely. Right now, if you buy like any of the Nissan products, I think other than the GTR, if you buy or any of the Infinitis, they come with 4-piston brakes up front, the Acapone brakes, and a 2-piston in the rear. So if they were to develop a new 6-piston one, or if they took the one from the GTR, it'd be like really big, and I don't think the car is heavy enough or has enough power where they would actually justify doing it. I think it's just for like the current marketing of putting it out. Which still looks cool, and I really hope it goes to production with 6-piston brakes, or at least you get an option to like upgrade to that. But I highly doubt it's actually gonna come with 6-piston brakes, although it'd be great, but I don't think it will. At best it'll be 4-piston in the front, 2 in the rear, and maybe they give you an option to go 6-piston, just like on like Mustangs GTs and stuff. Like you can get the 4-piston is the standard, but you can upgrade to like 6-piston in the Brembo. It's usually like a black caliper, which is a great option. They should make it, if they're going to do it, make it so you can option up into it, but I don't think it will be as standard as all of them. Maybe the Nismo, like I was saying before, maybe the Nismo will get it, but other than that, probably not gonna have it. Okay, moving on to the interior. So the pictures of the interior, it's looking pretty good right now. They have a big touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, that's great. Like every car has that, or Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, every car has it. So it'd kind of be a big letdown if they don't have it. Like the current Zs have a really old technology in it for the infotainment system, so this will be a huge upgrade regardless, just by having that full touchscreen. I know the current ones some of them are touchscreen now, but like it's just like a bunch of plastic and the touchscreen is not very responsive, and the interface doesn't look the best either. So that whole system right there is going to be a big upgrade. The digital dash, that's going to be crazy. I'm so excited for that if they actually make it to production with the digital dash. I feel like they will. A lot of cars have digital dashes right now, so it's not that far off to say they can have that. And then my other concern would be like the kind of luxury features they're putting, that they might put in. So it's probably going to be cloth seats. They might have like a leather option. depending on what package. Maybe get like a sport touring package and get some leather seats and stuff. But I wonder if they're going to put heated seats, definitely, because they already come with that. But I wonder if they do, like, they go the next step and do like cooled seats, heated steering wheel. Those are options that are kind of up in the air right now. There's a lot of cars that come at least with heated steering wheels, especially if you live in a colder climate. That's like really important to you. I don't have a heated steering wheel on my car. I don't have a heated steering wheel on my car, but when I am in cars that do have it, it's like literally the best thing, because I don't like driving with like these big gloves on. I like to have my hand actually on the steering wheel, and if it can be heated, then you don't have to worry about the car heating up and having the fan blow on your hands to keep it warm, and it's with you every time you turn the wheel or anything. So if they can add those features in, that'd be great. I really hope they do. The cooled seats is kind of a stretch. They don't really need to add that, but that'd also be great. And I know that you have to kind of play this fine line where if you add too many features, the car kind of gets overpriced, and then that kind of makes it hard for people to buy. So it'd be great for them to add as many features as possible, but I know they have to keep in mind what they put in according like related to the price of what the price point they expect to have the car at. On that note, I guess we'll move on to pricing. So I don't know what this is going to be priced at. I really hope it's close to what the current 370Z is, because that's not too expensive. You can get them like at the base models can get it at a lower price. The way the new Z is looking, like the 400 or the Proto, it doesn't look like, or at least in my opinion, I don't see how they're going to do too many like variants of the vehicle, which will kind of put you in a fixed price range if there's not like a super base one with like no features. Like right now you can get a Z with just like regular calipers, a super cloth interior, like this big plastic centerpiece for the infotainment, and that allows the price to drop down a lot. But then you can also get one that like has leather, has heated seats, has a better infotainment system, it's touchscreen, has navigation, and that kind of brings the price up. But the way they're showing it right now, with like just the one big touchscreen, the digital dash, if those are all just standard options, especially with like the safety features that are coming in cars right now, like automatic stop and like lane keep assist and like somewhat adaptive cruise control, if they're keeping those as standard options, it's gonna bring the price up, and it's gonna kind of force it to be at a fixed price that's gonna be hard to budge from, other than like it can only get really more expensive from there. So I'm hoping they can keep it close to like a mid-range Z, a 370Z, but there is a possibility it goes too high, which at that point I kind of want to like invoke like a warning, like that I really hope they don't price this car out of most people's range. So if they add too many features as a standard feature and the car costs like $40,000, you kind of make it hard for a lot of people to get into it, or a lot of younger people to get into it, because now you have to like, it's just too high of a price to start at, right? And then any features you add on top or any trim levels that you go up, you're getting it too high, and then you're maybe close to like the price of a Supra, which if you start doing that, you're pricing it like out of the mainstream. Like right now, if you look for a sports car, like a cheaper rear-wheel drive 6-speed manual coupe, if you're looking for one of those cars, there are not a lot of options, right? And there's like the BRZ, there's Miata. Miata's not even that cheap to start right now, so like it's really hard if you think about it for like these starting prices to be that high. And if you keep those starting prices so high, that's how some of these cars die off, because the people who really want it, maybe like me, might not be able to afford it at that current price range, and then the people who could afford it don't really care for it, or they might be like, oh, it's only be a 2-seater, so let's say they have a kid, they're like, yo, I can't justify a 2-seater if I have a kid. Maybe if you even have the 4 seats, like a G or something, which I don't want it to, but if it did, maybe they can kind of justify and say, okay, it has 4 seats, you can put the baby seat in the back or something like that if you really need to. But if this is for someone, they either have to use it then as their daily driver, which may be a younger person who doesn't have like anybody to carry around, so they'd use it as their daily driver, or an older person who might be using it as like a weekend or a summer car. Like a lot of people would put these away for the winter. I know a lot of older people do that with their Zs or with their current Zs, whereas in like I think some younger people will drive it all year round. So if it gets too expensive, you're literally gonna price it out of existence, because if I can't afford it, and I'm like the demographic it's kind of appealed to, and then the older people don't really care for it because it doesn't fit their lifestyle, or the middle-aged people don't care for it because it doesn't fit their current lifestyle, you're gonna have an issue selling it, which then eventually is just going to die off after a short amount of time. So I really hope that they price it accordingly, maybe remove some features. I'd be happy with them to remove some of the features or the things you saw that they don't make it to production, to make the car more affordable so a lot more people can get into it. I'd love to see a lot of these on the road instead of having only a few people buying them. The dealerships aren't stocking up on them, and like it's hard to get, and then the next thing you know, 3 years down the road there is no more Z, right? And that's really what I don't want to see happen. So I know adding the turbo, maybe it's not that more expensive because they already have that engine from Infiniti, so it's not as big of a deal as developing an engine specific to that car. But already doing these things are going to add some complexity to it, and it's going to make it more expensive from the start. So I just really hope that they're able to keep it within a reasonable price range for younger people can maybe get it as like a stretch, and some people like their late 20s and stuff, like they're good to get it, or their early 30s, and they're like, yeah, I can afford this, no problem, and this is a great car to have, and there's gonna be a lot of people driving them, and there's gonna be a great like community around them and a market around them, and that's what I hope to see. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you agree with my opinions, if you disagree, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I already said that, but leave a comment down below. Tell me your opinions on the 400Z or Z Proto, what you think it looks like, if you think it looks great, what features they need to work on. I'm really serious about that one cup holder, that interior with the one cup holder. They need to off that. They can't do a one cup holder. I don't see the reason. I know you can fit a second cup holder in the interior somewhere. The current 370Z, I'm pretty sure, has one cup holder, and I don't know why. Just even if you make a smaller cup holder that only fits like a water bottle, don't do that. Like, get a proper second cup holder instead of just one. I find it pretty unreasonable, and I saw that in the interior pictures, and they really need to, in my opinion, they need to get rid of that and make sure there's two cup holders. It's not a Lamborghini. It's not something where it's like super impractical. Like, some people will be using this car as their everyday car, so like make sure those type of things are usable. That's one of my biggest gripes with this car, or with what I've seen so far. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video, if you have any opinions of your own, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time.